I'd just like to say that I think from the bottom of my heart, from every fabric of my being, that what has gone on in the press and from the Jewish leadership in this country, that what's been directed at Jeremy Corbyn is a witch hunt, and that what is happening is what typically happens, which is that anyone who criticizes Israel is essentially targeted by certain groups in the right-wing press and by groups like the Board of Jewish Deputies, I'm afraid. And
you do realise, don't you, Ethan, that this is fairly anti-Semitic, what you're saying yourself?
No, it's not. I'm actually Jewish.
Doesn't matter. You could be anti-Semitic and Jewish.
No, I can't. I'm not.
Well, you can.
No, I'm really not. What's happened is people like yourself, you're failing journalistically to really interrogate and to investigate these claims. And then many of these claims are totally factual.
Just explain to me how I was failing to do that.
Okay, I can give you 5 examples on the air right now. You ready?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah.
Let's go through it, shall we? Okay? And just bear in mind that I'm a child of a Holocaust. I'm the grandchild of a Holocaust survivor. Okay? My grandfather was in Innsbruck-Birkenau.
Well, let's bear... No, listen, Ethan.
Let's bear that in mind before you call me an anti-Semite again. How dare you?
Ethan, either you take it calmly or we can... end the conversation. Ash, sitting in the studio with me here, is also the grandchild of somebody whose family went through the Holocaust. So don't start that with me.
Let's do it calmly, shall we? But don't call me an anti-Semite, ever.
He didn't say you, didn't he? He said, you can be. He said that people who Jews can be.
I'm not.
All right.
I mean, he didn't say you were.
Let's get it straight, okay? Let's do this calmly, okay? You said about 20 minutes ago that Jeremy Corbyn went to a cemetery where he laid a wreath on dead terrorists' graves. That's categorically false. It's not true. What he went there for was to commemorate the killing of 47 Palestinians who were killed by the IDF in 1985, and those killings were condemned by the U.S. government at the time. Okay, that's one thing that you've mistakenly said.
That was
on that day, wasn't it? It was on the day when there was a.
Oh, okay, that's the first one.
Did you hear what Ash's response to that was? Did you take that in?
You both were talking over each other, so I didn't quite hear it.
Say, but you didn't hear it.
Can I hear it again?
Well, it was on the day, wasn't it, when there was a commemoration to the people that did that atrocity.
He didn't lay a wreath on their grave.
Well, he held a wreath. I mean, he was there, wasn't he? He just happened to be there on that day.
He didn't hold a wreath.
There was a photograph, though, wasn't there?
He didn't do it at the graves of those terrorists.
It was on the same day as that,
No, but he didn't do it. He just didn't do it.
It just happened to be on the same day that he was there with a wreath.
Okay,
what's your second one? What's the second one then?
Let's do another one, okay? You like to talk about the mural. Lots of people like to talk about the mural. Okay, I know that. I'm
in the East End, was it? Wasn't it, or something?
Yes. Okay, that was done by an anarchist graffiti artist from California known as Mir One. He did it in 2012. Okay, the most of the people depicted in that mural aren't even Jewish. Okay, the Rockefellers aren't Jewish, and on the mural there's nothing targeting Jews whatsoever. It actually says the New World Order is the enemy of humanity on the mural, but you haven't investigated it, so you don't know that.
Hang on, just a minute, because I don't know about that, but that's Ash who
mural,
does
wasn't
know about
there?
these things, Ash.
This was the one with it sort of had the bankers, didn't it? And they were standing, and Corbyn liked it or something on Facebook. Or
no, he didn't like it. What he said was it shouldn't be scrubbed off the wall, and he said that in the spirit of tolerance.
But he's apologised, hasn't he, since then, and said he didn't realise.
He's been relentlessly bullied.
But he doesn't apologise for other things always. So he's quite a strong guy. He's not going to.
Hang on, can I listen, you two?
He wouldn't apologise if he didn't think it was.
Guys, just a minute. So what I'm listening to here, which is quite interesting, is two members of the Jewish community arguing with each other about whether or not Jeremy Corbyn is anti-Semitic.
Why would he apologise for it? He's a strong guy.
There's nothing related to Jews or to Judaism or to Zionism in that mural.
Ethan, listen.
Finish, please. Please just give me the time to finish. Let me land.
Ethan, just a minute. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Answer me this question. What do you think about the Chief Rabbi? Is the Chief Rabbi misinformed? Not very bright? doesn't know what he's talking about? What?
He's absolutely misinformed. Okay, and I'll explain it to you in the best way I can. Okay, he represents, I think, a very, very conservative wing of Jewish demographic in Britain. He certainly doesn't represent liberal Jews or left-wing Jews or Jewish people that want a two-state solution based on peace and international law in Israel. Okay, he certainly doesn't represent us. All right, and we do exist. Jewish people have, since time immemorial, been on the side of social justice, on the side of socialism, on the side of human rights. And you know, it's because we went through the Holocaust that we should be sensitized to human rights abuses. We should be sensitized to human suffering, and we should call it out when we see it, whether it happens in Palestine or Iraq or Syria or wherever else. Okay?
What's that got to do with what the Chief Rabbi said, though?
I disagree with it. I don't think the Labour Party is institutionally anti-Semitic. It's just not. Okay,
why have MPs quit, though, you know, Labour MPs?
You might remember that the Labour Party actually was led by a Jewish person called Ed Miliband. Okay? If it was such a rancid den of anti-Semitism...
It was different then. They're saying it's different.
He would have led the party.
Well, it's different since then, isn't it? You know.
Why have, back to the question that Ash asked you, Ethan, why have a number of Jewish Labour MPs quit? Very upset and very hurt about the way they've been treated and bullied within the Labour Party by not all of the Labour Party, obviously, by certain factions within the Labour Party.
I think there's been a lot of frustration against these people because these MPs...
A lot of frustration against what people?
Against certain MPs like Ruth Smead and Luciana Berger and others who've had it out for Jeremy Corbyn and his new leadership from the very beginning. We've seen the knives out for Jeremy Corbyn from the very start.
So they've quit to get him back. They've quit their job to. It's some sort of conspiracy.
Yeah. So Ethan,
it's
basically,
not a conspiracy. They're very open and honest about their loathing for him. Very, very open and honest.
Why wouldn't?
Listen, want a two-state solution, and they don't want that. And any criticism of Israel is constantly bludgeoned. And
no, it's not.
How do you know they don't want a two-state solution? I think they probably do.
Yeah, we talk about that quite a lot from time to time. Listen, Ethan, shush a minute. Listen to what's being said rather than ranting. A lot of people in this country think a two-state solution is the only way to heal the rifts in the Middle East. A lot of Jews, Israeli Jews in particular, and lots of Jews around the world think that a two-state solution is the way to go. Nobody is denying that at all.
They'll still think the Labour Party is instituted. They don't come together, those two things.
Can I respond to your comment?
Yeah.
Because I think it's a really good point, and I am happy you raised it. Okay. And it goes directly to one of the other things that's constantly brought up about Jeremy Corbyn when he referred to Hezbollah and Hamas as friends. Do you recall that, yes?
Of course, yeah.
So the reason he did that was not because he wants them round for tea or for Christmas dinner. It's because he's trying to welcome them into parameters where they can have a peaceful, moderated discussion in the spirit of achieving a two-state solution. That's what he's trying to do. Okay, you might remember that Mo Mowlam and Tony Blair and the Queen, they met Martin McGuinness, they met Sinn Féin, they met Gerry Adams, they met people that tried to blow up the Conservative Party cabinet in Brighton, they met people that murdered Lord Mountbatten.
It was a slightly different situation, but it was. I'm sorry.
It's not.
I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, and I'm allowed my opinion as well as you, I think it was. Now listen, I'm about to talk. Oh gosh. I'm about to talk to Lord Clive Soley, former chairman of the Labour Party, 1997 to 2001, and get his thoughts on this. Is there anything you would particularly like me to ask him?
I don't know who he is, but I would really encourage people to really...
I'm very surprised, as presumably you're a Labour supporter, I am very surprised that you don't know who Clive Soley is.
Well, I don't.
Well, I think you should find out.
Well, I've raised a lot of points today that you're not quite aware of as well, okay?
I don't think you have, but okay.
I have, okay? And here's another thing that I think you should know about that I imagine that you probably don't know. And a lot of.
Well, I don't know that whatever you're going to tell me, if I don't know, is factual anyway. Go on, tell me.
Look it up.
Tell me what you think.
It's not controversial at all. Okay, and that's that when Hamas started, when in its genesis in 1987. Do you know that they were actually supported by the State of Israel? That they were armed by the State of Israel? Do you know that? So Jeremy Corbyn is criticised and called anti-Semitic for reaching out.
You didn't know that, Ash?
No, but I mean, what's that got to do with the situation today?
No idea.
I'll tell you why. Because Jeremy Corbyn welcomes them in the spirit of having dialogue and a peaceful resolution, and he's called anti-Semitic. But the State of Israel actually supported and funded them.
Can you just remind me one thing? I've got to
listen. No sense of irony.
Ethan, calm down. Are Hamas still firing rockets into Israel or not?
Hamas
are still absolutely resisting Israel, and Israel is firing rockets back at them.
Okay. Listen, check. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure that they were still behaving in that way. Okay, fine. Indiscriminately firing rockets into another country. I don't think that's on. I would like you to check out who Clive Soley is. I think you should know that. It's pretty, important. Keep listening and you'll find out.